The new Mario and Sonic game at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics is shaping up to be one of the best titles in the series, but there's something about it that's been upsetting me. What is that, you may ask? Let's discuss right now.
I got hot sauce in my bag, swag.
A quick shout out to Hacks. This is a fan art of Metal Duckles that they drew, and it's really cute over here because it looks like Metal Duckles here is trying to play a video game, but obviously his hands aren't really the ones for the job here, so he's definitely struggling. And to be honest, I've probably had times like this too when I was younger and right now too. So thank you so much, I really appreciate it. Anyway, hello there beautiful human, my name is RidersDX and welcome to my channel, where today I've got an interesting point that's related to the brand new Mario and Sonic game that might cause some people to not be happy with me, but I think that like once you hear like everything I have to say like in full context, you'll kind of get what I'm coming from, and that this is not actually an attack, but it's more so kind of like a questioning of like why things are being done the way that they're being done. And that sounds very generic and broad, so let me kind of just dive into what exactly about the new Mario and Sonic game that is upsetting me, because there is something that like has been on the back of my mind ever since I started seeing like more information about this game being revealed, that I just need to get off of my chest, because I think this is something that a lot of Sonic fans especially kind of need to think about as to like why things are being done the way that they are. But okay, so before I go on, let me just preface this is not an attack on the actual game. Okay, so the Mario and Sonic game to me looks absolutely awesome. It looks really fun, and I'm actually really excited to play it when it comes around this November. You know, it looks like they're putting a lot more into this game compared to the other Mario and Sonic games. The events look like they're a little bit more interesting. There's some brand new games being put into it. The dream events look really fun. Like one of the dream events looks like a spiritual successor to Sonic Riders, and I'm just like, we need more of this. We need more Sonic Riders. And what's really awesome about this is that they have a whole bunch of different new features and stuff that we haven't seen in the console version of a Mario and Sonic game before. Like there's gonna be a whole story mode to this, and the story mode comes with its own like unique mini games that you don't see in the normal modes, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And it's also this 2D mode, which I know that some people are not as excited about, but to me it's like, it's very interesting, and it's something that's not been done in a Mario and Sonic game before. And to be honest, you really wouldn't be expecting like all these new things in a Mario and Sonic game like at this point, because you know, this is the 5th game in the series. They spent 4 games kind of just like introducing like a few new ideas here and there, but not really like changing things up or like making it really interesting. I mean, we had no reason to expect this game to be nothing more than like another cash grab, but no, it looks like Sega and Nintendo are putting a lot more into this game compared to the previous games, and it looks like a lot of fun with a lot of effort being put into it, and a lot of things for old fans to really appreciate that are being put into this game. And so I have nothing but positive things to say about the Mario and Sonic game. And initially I was gonna make a video just kind of talking about my favorite things that I'm looking forward to the most in the Mario and Sonic game, but then this thought kind of crossed in my mind, and the thought that crossed my mind was, they're putting so much attention towards this Mario and Sonic game, and we all know that Sega is the one that's primarily responsible for the Mario and Sonic games. I mean, Nintendo does publish it in Japan, I think, and they also have a few developers involved, but this is for the most part a Sega production. And so this being a Sega production, something about Sega that I'm really like critical about recently is the fact that they're not really putting as much into the Sonic games, at least recently, compared to what they used to do. Like I remember when I was like in high school or middle school, where there would be like 3 or 4 Sonic games coming out every single year, and while that was definitely overkill, it at least felt like they were investing a lot into the Sonic franchise, and they were trying their best to make Sonic get on top of the gaming world. You know, you had Sonic 06, which even though that game turned out to be the way that it did, a lot was put into it, and it was a very ambitious title. And 2 years later you had Sonic Unleashed, which was, you know, arguably just as much of an ambitious title as Sonic 06 was, if not more, because they were making like this completely brand new gameplay style. And that was just a really great example of how much Sega was putting into Sonic games at the time. But more so recently, you don't see that same kind of love and passion being put into Sonic games. I mean, Sonic Forces, for example, despite having a 4-year development time span, at least half of it was spent making the engine, and then the remainder of it was spent like rushing out a game basically. Sonic Forces was pretty much a disappointment. And then we got Team Sonic Racing this year, which felt like a non-event. You know, it just came out and then that was it. The online lobbies I last checked are completely dead. Nothing's been said about the game since it was released, and the promotional campaign leading up to the game was very minute and minuscule as well. And it felt like a budget title. Team Sonic Racing and Sonic Forces felt like budget titles. Sonic Mania arguably was also a budget title, but the team behind it was just so amazing at their job that like it did well anyway because the game was great. It didn't need like a big budget to be amazing. But Sonic games as a whole have been having really low, tight budgets and not that much promotion. And that's why Team Sonic Racing felt like such a non-event, especially. But now Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games is coming out, and it looks like there's so much more being put into this game compared to other Mario and Sonic games. And first of all, you wouldn't really expect them to do this because, well, it's Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. You know, this franchise was basically made to cash in on a real life event, and it makes them money. So there's nothing really wrong with it. You know, I totally support it because ultimately it means more funds to invest in more Sonic games in the near future. However, I just feel kind of annoyed that they're putting so much effort and time and passion into Mario and Sonic games, but they didn't give that same respect and effort towards like the previous Sonic games. It's like, why is this sports spin-off game getting so much more care being put into it compared to, you know, actual Sonic games that diehard fans really care about? And I can think of a couple reasons, I guess. One is this game is gonna sell. So because Sega knows that this game is gonna sell, maybe they have no issue with like trying to put a little bit more effort into it because they're like, well, we know the profits are gonna come back, so might as well try to like utilize some of those profits we're gonna get to make like a really nice fun party game. And a second reason could be because of Nintendo's involvement. Because Nintendo is involved, maybe Nintendo is giving them some more funds to work with as well in terms of making this game, which I guess is completely possible. So it makes sense why this game is having more love and care being put into it compared to the previous Sonic games, but it makes me upset nonetheless because Sonic has less games coming out than he used to, but the quality isn't getting better. So you would think that with less games that the development teams would have more time to make the games, you know, as best as they can be. But despite them having more time to make these games and having less games being pumped out, the games are not better. In fact, the games are just even more mediocre, I feel like, compared to what they were before. And so, I don't know, this was kind of like the one thing about the Mario and Sonic game that made me a little bit upset, was the fact that it just makes the Sonic games look so minuscule in comparison to this one. And I just hope that from here on out that Sega really tries to put more into their Sonic games, because, you know, there's a reason why Sonic is still as popular as he is, despite having mediocre after mediocre after mediocre game come out from the franchise. We still stick around hoping, praying that the next Sonic game will be amazing because we love Sonic. Sonic is such a likable and iconic franchise and character, and he really deserves more respect being put into his video games. And I just feel like Sega hasn't been putting that effort into the video games. You know, they don't see like the benefit, I guess, in investing this time and money into Sonic games. Like, why do you think Team Sonic Racing basically had no support after the game came out? It's absolutely insane the way that they basically tossed that game to the side as soon as it came out, and that really doesn't have to happen. I mean, come on, a Sonic Racing game, people want a good Sonic Racing game. There's no reason Team Sonic Racing had to basically die at launch the way that it did. Team Sonic Racing could have been such an amazing and really successful title for Sega, but they didn't put in the necessary effort and content into the game. And so, especially with Team Sonic Racing coming out at the same time as Crash Team Racing Nitro Field, it really just paled in comparison and basically was dead on arrival. And I just find this so disappointing, and I hate that Sonic is in this position right now. I really want the next Sonic game to just be the greatest thing ever. I mean, it doesn't have to be the greatest thing ever, but I really just want it to feel like that they actually care. You know, I really want it to feel like they actually care about the next Sonic game. They are doing everything they can to make it good. Sonic doesn't have to be a mediocre franchise, and I don't know, I just wish they would put the same kind of love and passion into their Sonic games that they're putting into this Mario and Sonic game. It's looking like the new Mario and Sonic game has so much more content compared to the previous entries, and it looks like a whole lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to playing it. But I really hope that this is a sign that Sega is going back to being serious about Sonic, and they're going to do whatever it takes to bring Sonic back to some kind of prominent position in the gaming industry, because right now no one's really looking out for Sonic. People are just like, oh, another Sonic game, is it gonna be decent or terrible? I don't know. Like, people don't expect Sonic games to be great, and I just find that to be the most disappointing thing ever. But okay, that's pretty much my rant. I don't know if that made sense or not. You know, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you understand what I just said? And do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you agree that the new Mario Sonic game looks to be really great and that Sega's putting a lot more into it compared to previous Sonic games? Or do you feel like they're just putting in the same amount and maybe I'm just like really excited about the Mario Sonic game for some reason? But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and also let me know what you hope to see from Sega in the coming years as we reach the 30th anniversary. But okay everyone, that is it. Thank you so much. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe to my channel if you like videos like these, want to see more in the future. Follow me on Twitter or Twitch, and join my Discord server, the Spongy Garden. Special shout out to Reese Gaming, Blitz Productions, Team Rival Sonic Gamer, Andrew Coughlin, and Glitch Dolphin. These are my patrons / YouTube members. If you would like to become a patron or a YouTube member, get access to a whole bunch of different perks, then check out the links in the description box below. But alright, this is Riders, riding out.